You know what? Let me be very honest with you. If you have completed your BCom or M.Com and you are still struggling to get a job, it's not because there is no job in the market. It's because you are not job ready yet. And I know that sounds harsh, but someone has to tell you the truth. See, the real problem is not you. The real problem is what you were taught. For 3 years, you studied accounting, you wrote exams, you got mark, but nobody actually prepared you for a job. Let me explain this in a very simple way. In college, you learn things like journal entries, ledger posting, trial balance, all on paper. But when you go for a job, nobody is going to give you a notebook and say, pass journal entry. They will give you a system, they will give you a software, they will give you real data, and suddenly everything will feel unfamiliar. See, the real problem is not you. The real problem is what you were taught. For 3 years, you studied accounting, you wrote exams, you got mark, but nobody actually prepared you for a job. Now, let me ask you something honestly. If I give you a company bank statement right now, can you sit and do a proper bank reconciliation? No theory, actually doing it. Most BCom graduates or M.Com graduates can't. And that's exactly where the problem starts. I have seen so many times in my career fresh graduates come in, they have degree, some even have 80 to 90 percentage marks. But when it comes to actual work, they get stuck. Not because they are not smart, but because they were never trained for a real work. Let's talk about Mark for a second. Mark look good on paper, but in real world, Mark doesn't solve problems. In your exam, everything is clear and structured, but in real accounting, you will have missing entries, unclear transactions, tight deadlines, and nobody is going to give you 10 mark for the correct format. You either solve the problem or you don't. Now, here comes the biggest gap: softwares. Today, the accounting is not manual, it's completely system or software driven. If you don't know how to use Excel properly, or accounting softwares like Tally or Zoho Books or QuickBooks or SAP, then from an employer's perspective, you are starting from zero. And companies don't want that anymore. They want someone who can at least understand the basics and start contributing. And there is one more thing that most people ignore: communication. A lot of BCom and M.Com graduates struggle here. Writing emails, talking to clients, or even explaining what they did. These are not extra skills anymore, these are essentials. Because even if your work is correct and if you cannot explain it clearly, it loses its value. Another big issue is lack of real world understanding. You studied concepts like revenue, expense, profit, but do you really understand how a business runs day to day? Do you understand why cash flow is crucial? Do you understand what happens if a deadline is missed? More freshers don't because they never exposed to it. So let me give you a reality check. A BCom or an M.Com graduation is not useless, but it's not enough. It is just a starting point. That's it. If you expect a job just because you have a degree, you're going to be disappointed. Now, the good news: this is completely fixable. And honestly, it doesn't take years, it just takes the right direction. First, start with software. Learn Excel properly, not just basic. Learn functions, filters, data handling. Then move to accounting softwares like Tally. Understand how entry actually work inside a system. After that, You should explore other accounting softwares like Zoho Books, quickbooks, SAP, etc. See, the real problem is not you. The real problem is what you were taught. For 3 years, you studied accounting, you wrote exams, you got mark, but nobody actually prepared you for a job. Second, start practicing real work. Don't just watch videos. Take sample data, try doing bank reconciliation, try entering invoices. Make mistakes. That's how you learn. Third, focus on practical concept. Understand GST basics, income tax. Learn how payroll works. Understand month end closing. These are things companies actually need. Fourth, work on your communication. Start writing better emails. Practice explaining things in simple words. Even talking to yourself. And finally, build your resume based on skills. Don't just write BCom or an M.Com graduate. That doesn't impress anyone anymore. Instead, show what you know, what you have practiced, what you can actually do. So, if you take one thing from this video, remember this: your degree got you educated, but your skills will get you employed. Stop waiting for opportunities. Start preparing for them because the market doesn't reward degrees anymore. It rewards capabilities. If you're serious about improving, just come and start. I will guide you step by step on what to learn first, and make sure you subscribe because I will teach you what your college or university didn't.